So this brings us on to, I think, a overall ranking of what happened in 2022. So I think what I'd like us to do is kind of have a bit of a roundtable discussion and then give our own individual feelings on maybe our favourite and least favourite TV shows, our
Okay.
favourite films, least favourite films. Um, so when I talk about them, I'm talking about maybe the quality of the show, and then also anyone's favourite project from this year, whether it was good or not. So if you like watch Morbius and you're like, I love how shit this is, that would be your favourite project of the
Said no
year.
one ever.
It was an example, an outlandish one maybe, but an example. And then maybe everyone's favourite bit of news from the year. Does that sound good?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Awesome. So, is there anything anyone would like to say to change people's minds before we even get started? Does anyone really want to go to bat for a particular TV show?
So, Avatar with. No, I'm joking.
Stop.
A TV show, Harry.
Oh, yeah, true. It probably would have been better.
Avatar TV show would be dreadful. They would end up in a Freak of the Week format instead of a proper TV show.
I don't know if you could pay me enough money to watch an Avatar TV show.
Maybe enough money to watch Avatar the film.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't want to watch the
I
film.
reckon there's a very easy number to make you go watch Avatar the film.
Oh yeah, no. If they want to be like, yeah, here's $1 million to watch it, I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
It's however much a red carpet ticket costs. That is your answer. Get me next to James Cameron on the red carpet, and I'll go watch Avatar.
You're asking for an Ezra Miller situation with that one.
Don't even know what that means.
Nobody knows what
Ezra Miller's apparently
provocative,
he's done everything under the
provocative.
sun. So
Okay, I'll go first. I think my favourite TV show has to be. Ooh.
Man said has to be, and then hesitated.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you my favourite two. I don't think I can put them in a particular order, but they are clear of the rest for me, and it is Edge Runners and Andor.
I was going to say, coming from a mostly Star Wars thing, I feel that Andor's the clear number one for me.
And Andor was phenomenal. Edge Runners was so good. Ironically, they're both my picks for also getting well past what they should have been expected to achieve. I couldn't put them down. Every week, me and Horry would finish recording. I'd be like, okay, I need a new episode of Andor now.
Yeah.
And Edge Runners, once I actually got around to watching it, I binged it in like a day.
Yeah, see, I think Andor is the clear for me. Edge Runners was amazing. But it did a lot in 6 episodes, but it was 6 short episodes. Andor just as a whole was incredible. And I want more Andor. I'm quite happy that that's all I'll get of Edge Runners. So
you're getting 4 more seasons of Andor, so you'll get it.
6 seasons and a movie.
So I think Andor has to be my clear winner for TV show.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Just to circle back to the overperforming, because I completely forgot to say this, I think Tales of the Jedi, for the length of it, did way more for those characters than it should have done, reasonably.
Yes.
It's not the best show, but I'd for 3 short episodes, we got some nice development of already well-established characters. So just a little shout out
more for Dooku than it did for Ahsoka.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
We got an incredible new meaning to the whole line of Ahsoka of put your training to the test.
Yeah, no, but I think adding or seeing more of Dooku's fall adds a lot of context to his character.
This is why I love Dave, because if
you don't know him like that, you don't know him like that.
Like, Dave, guy down pub.
That is Mr. Fillion to you.
But with the Dooku episodes and see like how his fall occurred, if you watch that and then go back and watch episode 2, he's somehow managed to make episode 2 make more sense. If you get what I mean, like Dooku's interactions with Obi-Wan.
Dave Filoni's on his own back, has somehow improved the prequels without changing the prequels.
I like to imagine Dave Filoni barges into Star Wars headquarters every 6 months and just goes, right, here's how I'm going to fix these fuck ups you made. he just disappears
No,
behind the cloak
he's just
again
got a
and comes back
whiteboard with like
solutions.
his list of all the canon issues that fans now have, and he's like going through, crossing them off as he like fixes every single one.
And I mean, we've said this over the course of the year, Harry. It does feel like Star Wars at the minute are trying to fix these issues they've got in plot to round off this era of time and just go, and now we're over here. But they don't want to leave what they've already made in a mess.
Yeah, they're
They
trying
want to fix it and go.
I don't know how they're gonna fix the Disney trilogy though.
Listen, some things can't be saved. I'll say this now, though. If Dave Filoni somehow canonically makes the line, somehow Palpatine returned makes sense, he might be the greatest creator of content of ever if he makes that work.
Right, wild thought. What if the whole Mandalorian series is a lead up to him fixing that one line?
Now you see, it is actually plausible given what
The
happened in it happened in Kenobi at the end where Kenobi's like rescuing Leia. There's the one scene where he sees all the dead Jedi in the pods. So I feel like there's some sort of build up to explaining Palpatine, but I don't think you can fix that line.
There is fuckery afoot.
He will do his best, and if
Of
anyone
course
can
he
do it, Dave will do it.
Exactly. Josh, why do I feel like your favourite TV show of the year is not going to be one on our list?
I have 3
Go on.
written down. Stranger Things season 4,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai season 5, and season 3 of The Boys.
Okay,
And
if
that isn't motivation for Horry to get his ass in gear and watch it, I don't know what is.
We'll see if I've watched it by this time next year on next New Year special.
Stop it.
I'm going to go out and say season 3 of The Boys was phenomenal. However, I have one huge issue with it.
Oh no!
I didn't watch it.
A lot of the excitement for the entire series was around
Herogasm?
Herogasm, thank you. And it massively underdelivered.
No, bollocks. I loved Herogasm.
Okay, here's the thing. It is a good episode. It underdelivered on their promise of this is like nothing you've ever seen before. Because if you actually think about it, that episode did nothing we haven't seen in The Boys before. They just did them all in one episode instead of over 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, I get that point of view. I know it was hyped up to be like something special,
breaking.
Yeah, and it didn't reach that height, but it was still fantastic.
Yeah. But I would argue what happened in the first 5 minutes of the first episode with the lower half exploding, I would argue that was more outrageous and out of pocket than Herogasm.
That's a fair comment.
And that is the only reason that, and maybe it shouldn't because the show was still great. But I feel like if you're going to market something a certain way and then you don't deliver on that, it has to take points off.
Story of Josh's life.
Referee.
It's
a violation for the person that's not even watched it. That's outrageous.
I'm surprised someone as old as Horry can make a reference like that.
Here we
go. Luke, do I take it Andor is your number 1 for the year, or have you got any other rogue shouts that you'd like to mention?
No rogue shouts. I think I'd say Moon Knight was probably my favorite Marvel piece, but I think Andor is quite comfortably the best show I've watched and probably the best Star Wars content since Revenge of the Sith.
Awesome. So is everyone content with their TV show choices?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Now it moves on to, I think, a traditionally more prestigious category in the film department. I've got a feeling we're going to get maybe 1 or 2 answers pretty consistently here. So I'm going to open up with both of them, so I don't seem to be the copycat.
Wow.
For me, is the Batman or Black Panther. I think they are pretty clear of everything else. Morbius is definitely down in a pit by itself. but I don't really think anything else holds a light to them films. They are very different. They are good in very unique and different ways, but they both left me as I was coming out of the cinema going, "Wow," which is not an easy thing to do. But
Mm,
now for you guys to be copycats and steal my
So my favorite film
yeah.
was Morbius. Now,
answers.
no, I think I would agree with Batman. Given DC's horrific year, they somehow managed to do that well. I was pleasantly surprised by how good Robert Pattinson was. I think I was probably the same as a lot of people, where we're a bit. It felt like a bit of a rogue.
That's fucking
actor.
Cedric Diggory you're talking about, mate. How dare you? The disrespect is absurd.
I mean,
And now I feel like that was a bit rogue, but it was probably partly due to Twilight that people had that notion that he wouldn't
well,
be.
Twilight's goated.
I'll be honest, I was skeptical as well,
What
but
have I
as we
just
got
heard?
closer, I remember saying to you, Hori, on this podcast, now that I know they're going for more of a detective centric Batman
Mm,
story, I wasn't worried anymore. It was when I thought they might try and pull off like a um Christian Bale esque style
yeah.
that I was concerned. Once I knew they were focusing more on the detective, I was like, fuck yeah, this is a great casting. And I was proven right, which is nice because I was very, very concerned about looking like a dick.
I It's controversial, and Connor's gonna hate me for it.
Oh no!
But no, I'm joking. Connor's look then was so ready to just shut me down.
I was like, you
Um,
dare to way of the water.
He's not even seen it yet.
yeah,
Can't see
exactly.
that.
I honestly think the Batman took it from me this year. Black Panther was amazing, and how they handled writing out T'Challa was great. But I think I expected that to be good. And I think the fact that Batman was so unknown, and overall just the story was great. The way that it was filmed and the style of it, I loved, and the art style and the way the cinematography was done. I think Batman has to take it for film of the year for me.
Josh,
I had
probably
two
becoming
down.
rogue again without any
Believe it or not, I have two on my list, and one is Batman. I love our Pats. I think he smashed it. I know a lot of people like yourself, Con, were concerned going in, but I think he done a great job. And number two, so I've not actually watched many films this year,
Oh.
but I really I enjoyed it more than most people in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. I thought Elizabeth Olsen was absolute different gravy. I think she absolutely
Yeah, I
smashed
bet you
it.
did.
Oh,
Yeah,
acting wise,
yeah, acting, yeah,
I thought she
acting.
was different gravy. Obviously, I'm a huge Office nerd. Seeing Mr. Jim Halpert himself pop up, I lost my head a little bit. I was nerding out. But I just overall, I think I enjoyed it a lot more than most people did. So yeah, Batman and Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness were mine too.
I am gonna throw a rogue third shout out there, or something that's not on the list.
Oh.
Yesterday and today, me and my partner we watched Knives Out and then Glass Onion Knives Out today. I'd never seen them before. Glass Onion is one of the most enjoyable films I've watched in a long time. There was something about it, the colouring, the bit quirky comedy, the story. It was very, very good for me. And I would like to see more of them films pronto.
So I've seen the first one, and I think I'm watching the new one on New Year's Day, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I mean, I've
Yeah.
heard good things. I enjoyed the
It's
first one,
very, very good.
so I'd be disappointed if the second one isn't what I hoped it to be.
I think I'm gonna have to watch them purely on the basis of Ben Shapiro had the dumbest take on how those film works ever, and now I just want to watch it. It's an odd reason
I
to
haven't
watch
seen
it,
them.
but
Watching something to get spikes always value. I
exactly.
think although they fucked up, what was it, episode 8, Rian Johnson has somehow managed to make a Poirot-esque detective that was popular in like the 50s and 60s work in the modern world, which I didn't think was possible. So you've got to give them their credit for that.
Yeah. Oh, also, just to apply context, Ben Shapiro's tweet and his issue with the second Knives Out was that the entire, well, most of the first half was a misdirect. Clearly
What
doesn't
did you
understand
expect?
how films work, so
Yeah.
that's why I'm going to watch it.
Welcome to a detective. That man would hate M. Night Shyamalan. Right, favorite project of the year. Now, I'm going to open this up a little bit more, so it obviously includes your TV and your films, which are always a bit difficult to compare. But we've also got maybe video games, TV, novelizations,
Video games came out.
and anything in the sphere that was released this year. Let's hear it.
So I have a list of 3. I've broken
Go
it
on.
down to TV, film, and game.
Go on.
Oh.
Two previously mentioned. Film, I've gone with the Batman. TV, I've gone with season 4 of Stranger Things. And game, I have gone with God of War Ragnarok, which leads me on to the fact that Amazon, I believe it's Amazon Prime, have
Yeah.
been confirmed to be making a God of War series, which
Yeah.
I am ecstatic
And
about.
people were trying to cast white actors to play Kratos.
I am. My biggest concern is the casting of Kratos.
If they cast a white man, I'm going to lose my mind.
I think they
Kratos
should
is
just
not
get
a
Christopher
white
Judge to
man.
do it. I
Yes,
don't
they absolutely
understand.
should. Just give Christopher Judge the fucking
Like,
role.
I don't understand why they wouldn't do it unless he turned it down, which I doubt he would.
He would never.
So I'm very much looking forward to that, but the casting of Kratos is definitely the only thing that is scaring me at the minute. And until anything is announced, I will be shitting my pants because it is Ragnarok's my game of the year without a doubt. Obviously, it's only on PS5 at the minute, but God of War 1 is out and ready on PC. So, Con, if you haven't played that, you need to.
It's on my wish list. It's on my wish list, but I need to.
That's one you need to play.
Life and Mars Morales first.
So yeah, Stranger Things season 4, Batman, God of War, Ragnarok are my 3 favorite projects of the year.
Awesome, Luke. What about yourself? But doesn't count.
No, as previously mentioned, Andor and Batman would be top TV show and film for me, pretty comfortably as well. I can't pick God of War as my favorite game purely because I've not played it, so I'm going to go with Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga because I absolutely love that. A game that has basically been released 3 times already, and condensed into one,
and still is
and
much
still
fun
is
to
better
play.
than all of them. But yeah, no, I think Skywalker Saga for me is probably the best project.
Great show.
Valid. Awesome. Horizontal yourself.
I am torn between Andor and Edge Runners as my favorite TV. Andor was incredible, and I've already ranked it as like my number 1. But I think purely because it was close, I'm going to go with Edge Runners just because what they did in 6 episodes of Edge Runners is destroyed my emotions.
Magical,
and I don't know how they did it.
Luke, have you watched Edge Runners on Netflix?
I have not, no.
You should all
I have
watch
a horrific backlog on Netflix to watch.
It's 6 episodes. They're about
Binge
20
them in
minutes
one go.
each. You can do it in
Nice
3
and
hours.
easy to get through, mate. Nice and easy.
I promise you, you will be weeping like a child afterwards and screaming at us for putting you through it, but you will love every second of it.
Film is going to be the Batman again, though I'm going to give a shout out to the Screaming Goats from Love and Thunder.
True comedy gods.
They were great, and people hate them for no reason because they're boring.
It was Zoomer humor.
Games. See, I'm boring and play the same games every year.
Oh, we know. We know.
So
my man rotates Rust, Valorant.
Oh, you don't want to see my Steam rewind was 80% Rust, something like 12% New World, and then a bunch of random games.
Mine was quite bad actually. The Steam
I don't know. You know what? I've only started. I haven't finished it yet, but from what I've played, High on Life is fucking hilarious.
I finished downloading High on Life today, and I'll be playing that in the new year.
I started playing through it, and it's fucking great. So maybe I'll put that as my game.
I mean, as a huge Rick and Morty fan, The comedy seems to be 1-to-1. So I'm sure I'm going to have a blast playing it on stream. Okay, my favorite projects of the year. So I took this less from the what was greatest, but what literally I look at and I was like, I see what you were going for there, and it was so close to perfect. I want you to keep pushing at that. So my favorite video-esque project of the year, film TV, was Werewolf by Night.
Mm.
I adored the art style. I loved the use of newer characters, quirkier characters, and I enjoyed after 10 years of success in the MCU, that they're willing to try new things on Disney Plus. So I that's my favorite project because it shows they're still trying things and they still want to be creative as possible and not fall back into their rinse and repeat formula. Gaming for me is a bit of a cop out because it didn't technically get released this year, but it did,
Oh, there we go.
and it is Spider-Man Remastered for the PC. I never got to
I'll
play
let
it.
you have it.
Yeah, I never got to play it. It came out on PS4, and I literally almost bought a PS4 just to play the game, but I didn't. I waited throughout an entire pandemic,
That is
came out the
outrageous.
other side, and it got released on PC, and it was everything I wanted it to be and more. And I cannot wait again in the new year to get cracking with some Miles, because I am sure that is going to be just as much fun to play. But we need more superhero games. And I don't mean the shitty ones we used to get where they'd release a film and they'd release a thrown together, cobbled together game that kind of matched the film story.
Well, Spider-Man 2 for next year, mate.
We need other IPs to be given the Insomniac treatment.
Wolverine.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Well, I mean, that's likely not going to be what 2024.
Yeah,
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
And I don't want us to have to rotate like one of these games every other year, and then it hopefully be good. They need to make an effort. Disney has got more money than God. Get a game studio
Fuck's sake.
going, get the right people in to manage it, and just you've got all of the IPs, all of them. Disney owns so many phenomenal characters.
Although I do remember, Blessing Adeyoye Jr. hosted the Disney Games Conference, and wasn't
Yeah.
there a game coming out
Oh yeah,
with
Captain America, Black
Captain
Panther,
America, Black Panther, and someone else as like?
yeah, set in
I
World
don't
War
think,
II.
to my knowledge, we've not had any more information on
No,
that.
we've not. We've not.
But that's
You are
one to
right.
keep our eyes out for.
It
I
is.
doubt it's. I'm pretty sure it's made by Amy Hennig's team,
Yeah.
so it's got good direction, and fingers crossed we get some more information about that soon.
I think my only concern for these future video games would be not that I think that'd be bad, but I just hope people don't expect all of them to be as good as the Spider-Man ones were.
Yeah, I don't think
Because they can
people-
still be really
They've set
good
the bar
without
way
being as
too
good as
high.
that. Insomniac have set this ridiculous bar for how good a superhero game should be, and I guess the challenge is always getting a superhero's moveset and abilities into a video game.
Well, Gotham Knights got shit on in reviews, so
the Batman Arkham games, not including Gotham Knights and Spider-Man, are built perfectly to be video game characters.
Yeah, that's like the mold that they need to go with.
I personally adore the Flash and want a Flash game, but I also sit here week in week out and go, I just don't know how they do it with it making sense because it's so difficult to get right. But
we've got Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League next year. I don't know if it's got a date.
Yeah, we do. Kevin Conroy's last appearance. I think it's early-ish.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's got a date, but whether that's going to be any good, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I really don't like the Harley Quinn from what we've seen in it. But
well, that's an L take, but it's fine.
Right.
As a guest, I will be accommodating to your terrible opinions.
Thank you very much.
And now we move on to my favorite bit. What has been your favorite bit of news this year? It doesn't necessarily have to be good news. It can be bad news, but it can still be your favorite bit of news.
I'm sure someone might agree with me, Hori. So I pipped you to the post there. James Gunn to DC. I just don't think.
I'd be inclined to agree.
I don't think there's anything. So for me, I've never been a massive DC guy. Always been a huge Marvel. So I reckon he could be someone that gets me more into DC than anything has done before. Obviously intrigued to see what comes out of it, but I reckon that's without a doubt my nerdy news of the year, as you put it.
Okay.
Mine is twofold in the sense of it was the saddest news that led to some of the best news, which was Henry Cavill leaving Witcher, but now Henry Cavill's doing Warhammer 40k. So I'll take that trade.
I mean, we got that comment underneath one of our underneath our segment about Henry's 40k plans last week, where someone went, "It sucks that Henry had to lose the job as Superman for this to become possible, but I think we can all agree it's a worthy trade-off as a fan." And hopefully the project lives up to what people want it to be.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm looking forward to that. More on it.
What about
Luke?
yourself, Luke?
Mine is not TV or film related. Mine's video game related. I'm
Sure.
actually pretty happy for Jedi Survivor.
Yes, now
The trailer.
Ooh,
March 16th, I want to say.
yeah.
It's March
Yeah.
17th. I believe.
17th.
It's mid-March. That's
Yeah.
for 100%
A
true.
bit like Spider-Man, I think Jedi Fallen Order was probably like the standard of what people want out of that sort of game. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to returning the journey as Cal. And
Kestis with facial hair.
hopefully this might actually lead to live action Cal Kestis.
Oh,
But I'm
I
not-
hope.
We can
need
hope. We
live
can only hope.
action.
We can only
Get
hope.
Cal Kestis in Kenobi season 2.
That's reminding me though of Acolyte and them teasing
Mm.
Acolyte. I'm so
That's not
excited
until
for
2024, though, is it?
I don't probably, but I'm so hyped for Sif content.
Sith stories, Pog. Okay,
Okay.
well, my favourite bit of news by far is Sony announcing El Muerto. Absolutely the fuck not. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Man nearly bait me.
Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine was something that made me very, very happy when it was announced. Because, as I said, for me and Hori, and probably both of you, we grew up watching them X-Men films along with the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire films. Hugh Jackman is a superhero to me. And that, like, even now, when I look back and I go, in theory, Hugh Jackman's a terrible casting. He's too tall. He wasn't the right style of guy at all. He played the role so perfectly that even now, with the information that he was the wrong guy at the time, I still look at him and go, that is Wolverine. I'm so happy that he gets to come back in a film that is going to have so much love poured into it, working alongside one of his best friends. So that is just phenomenal and so exciting. And of course, James Gunn to take over DC is great, great news. I've said 101 times on here, although you wouldn't believe it the way I talk sometimes, I am more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy. So the idea that James Gunn's going to give DC that
Structure.
Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy flair, I'm so all in on, and I cannot wait to see what he gives us.
Before we move on to 2023,
Go on.
I also want to shout out Rings of Power and House of the Dragon. Both great shows. Rings of Power had its small issues and had its small, like, teething thing issues, but I think it'll be great going into season 2. And House of the Dragon, I thought was incredible and really well done. Again, I had some teething issues with the way that they've done the show, but I think their season 2 will be better as well.
I agree.
So.
We've got a long wait until season 2 of Ring of Power, don't we?
Yeah, it could be end of 2023, but more likely early 2024, which is a shame.
It's sad.
But...
Fortunately, looks like we have enough content for next year.
Yeah.